And welcome back to another devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Tuesday, December 24th of 2024. It's Christmas Eve, and Merry Christmas to you all out there tomorrow. We are in the book of Acts, and we are in the 5th chapter. Today we're going to look at verses 17 to 21. We're really going to just deal with the first half of verse 21. We'll pick up at 21 on Thursday and go from 21 on Thursday. But today we're just going to look at verses 17 to 21a, really, if you will. But I'm going to read the entirety of verse 21. We left off with Peter and John having left the priests and the leaders, with them having told them to behave, but they're not. And in fact, now Peter's there's such a following coming out now. More and more believers are being added to their numbers, and so many people are coming out wanting to be healed. They're lining the streets where they know Peter's going to go, just so that his shadow might fall upon them as he passes by, and they believe they will be healed. So he's causing quite a stir, shall we say. He's getting a lot of press, if you will. Folks are coming out in a big way for this new sect of Judaism, this Christ followers, these Messianic Jews, if you will, of the day. So let's pick up at verse 17. We'll read through 21 and we'll talk about them just a bit. All right. But the high priest rose up, and all who were with him, that is, the party of the Sadducees, and filled with jealousy, they arrested the apostles and put them in the common prison. But at night an angel of the Lord opened the prison doors and brought them out and said, "Go and stand in the temple and speak to the people all the words of this life." And when they heard this, they entered the temple at daybreak and taught. Now the high priest came, and those who were with him, and called together the council and all the senate of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. All right, we'll pick up with that, have them brought, on Thursday. But the high priest here, which is the party of the Sadducees, as it says, they're filled with jealousy because these guys are getting a lot of people following them. They're also, besides being jealous, they're jealous, upset, because the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection. And what are the disciples preaching about? The resurrection of Christ and the resurrection promise of your salvation ultimately in the general resurrection, when all are raised to life, when Christ comes again. And so they're preaching resurrection talk. And the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection. They only believe in the first 5 books of the Old Testament, the Pentateuch, if you will. They don't believe in the entirety of the Old Testament. They only follow those 5 books, and there's no mention of the resurrection in that. There's also no mention of angels, so they don't have a belief in angels either. Don't believe in resurrection. They don't believe in angels. Those are things that the Pharisees believe in. The Pharisees are a newer sect compared to the others. They're only about from the exile, 500 years or thereabout years old at that time. To us, that would seem ancient, but to them, that's not ancient compared to the other sects. And they arose out of the exile. There was definitely some Zoroastrian influence while in exile that you ended up with these beliefs that the Pharisees had, believing in the resurrection, believing in heaven and hell, believing in the way we believe in Satan, the devil. Those things were influenced, I should say, by the Zoroastrians in Babylon, in the Babylonian exile. And the Sadducees didn't believe in that. So they didn't have any use for that. They were also quite jealous that these guys were picking up all these people to follow them. So they've got them arrested, and they arrest them. Well, what happens? Well, guess what? As I said, they don't believe in angels. Well, an angel of the Lord comes and lets these guys out of prison, and brings them out and says, "Go and preach. Go and teach." And so at daybreak, they're right back in the temple where they just got kicked out of, where they got arrested for going there and preaching, and they are there again. That boldness that we've been talking about, that's carried over from several days away, and we've been talking about as we go, that boldness is there in spades. They are bold because of the Lord. They're also bold because this angel of the Lord has come, as it says in verse 19, at night, an angel of the Lord opened the prison doors. They've been liberated, if you will, by this angel, and they are going to preach, and they're going to teach. You can't hold us back. And that's what we're going to pick up with on Thursday and talk more about that and what in the world are the priests going to do now. They tried to lock them up. It didn't work. So now what? Are we going to ratchet it up, or what are we going to do? Find out on Thursday. I'm going to leave you off with that. Please have a blessed day. Please be a blessing to someone today. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve. Remember the reason for the season when you're sitting down with your family tomorrow to celebrate Christmas. Make sure that your family, your friends, all realize that we celebrate this holiday not because we want to give gifts to each other because we're in a secular fashion. We give gifts to each other in remembrance of the gifts given by the wise men to Jesus, and also in remembrance of the gift that God gave to us, that Christ child, that perfect gift that came to us so long ago, that's still giving to us. It still gives to each of us. So with that, God bless you. God loves you. Merry Christmas. See you Thursday.